Good evening. On the World News tonight from Baba Bagide Imo Television, first the headlines. Tinubu's government calls out Buhari, reveals effect of money looted before he handed over power. Unacceptable, ego tripping, Tinubu's government draws battle line with NLC TUC over planned strike. We have difficulties in the country, Shettima. Group calls for Buhari's arrest, prosecution by ICC after NSA revealed Nigeria is bankrupt. On sports, Super Eagles ready for 2026 World Cup qualifier showdown against Lesotho. I am Morire Lawa of the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu's government isn't happy with the immediate past administration of Muhammad Buhari, which it said left Nigeria bankrupt before relinquishing power. According to the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, there is no money for President Tinubu to run the country owing to the massive embezzlement of public funds in Buhari's government. Mr. Ribadu stated this in Abuja at the Chief of Defense Intelligence Annual Conference 2023 with the theme Leveraging Defense Diplomacy and Effective Regional Collaboration for an Enhanced National Security. He said, I assure you that the federal government will not rest on its laurels in ensuring a robust and viable defense management and security apparatus to address contemporary challenges, even in the face of enormous budgetary constraints. But this administration is doing its best to meet our requirements, particularly the armed forces, and I believe that you leaders will be able to testify to that, he assured. The presidency has condemned the decision of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC and TUC Trade Union Congress to begin a nationwide strike beginning from midnight yesterday, which rocks till today. In a statement on Monday night, presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga described the decision of organized labor as an ego-tripping move and an act of unwarranted blackmail against the government. He stressed the government's commitment to investigating the assault on the NLC president Joe Ajaero, saying that power at any level should not be wielded to settle personal scores, but rather used to promote collective progress and national interest. The presidential aide said the call on workers to embark on a nationwide strike over a personal issue of a labor leader despite a court order against any industrial action amounts to an abuse of privilege. Onanuga also criticized the labor leaders for their disregard for the judiciary and an erosion of the traditional championing of the rule of law by the labor movement. This decision by the NLC and TUC, other than being an ego-tripping move, is clearly unwarranted. It is an attempt to blackmail the government by the leadership of the NLC. While the federal government does not condone any form of violence and assault on any citizen of Nigeria, regardless of his or her social and economic status, it is on record that the Inspector General of Police has ordered an investigation into what happened to Mr. Joe Ajaero, while the Commissioner of Police in Imo State, under whose watch the incident happened, has been transferred out of the state. The presidential aide stated that the nation's economy and social activity should not suffer because of personal interests of Ajaero or any other labor leader. Vice President Kashim Shettima has said Nigeria is facing challenges, but there is a way where there is a will, as President Bola Tinubu is a man imbued with passion, intellect and capacity to lead the nation on the path of prosperity and progress. He said this on Monday when he received Denmark's Minister for Development Cooperation and Global Climate Policy, Mr. Dan Jorgensen, on a courtesy visit to the presidential villa Abuja. Senator Shettima said, we are facing challenges, but where there is a will, there is a way. The president is a man imbued with passion, intellect, and capacity to lead the nation on the path of prosperity and progress. He really wants to bring a new lease of life to the Nigerian nation, because if Nigeria works, Africa works. Oil will be relevant because it's all the derivatives for the next decade, but as the primary driver of the economy, the role of oil will diminish in the coming years. This is why it is a priority for us to think out of the box to find alternatives. This is why we are looking for investment in digital economy, clean energy and other sectors. We have a lot of opportunities of partnership and collaboration. The vice president said Nigeria's huge potential in digital technology, the outsourcing industry, and the clean energy sector would continue to incentivize investment in its energy transition plan and agenda to diversify the economy. Earlier, the Danish Minister for Development Cooperation and Global Climate Policy, Jorgensen, expressed his admiration for Nigeria's leadership and commitment to climate sustainability. You are watching the world news from Baba Bagidi Imo Television. Next to come. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Uriwa, on Tuesday commended the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, for summoning the courage to admit that the Bola Tinubu-led federal government inherited a bankrupt country from the immediate past Muhammad Buhari administration. Emmanuel Onwubiko, Uriwa's national coordinator, called for Buhari's investigation, arrest, and trial by the International Criminal Court (ICC) in the wake of the NSA's comments. Ribadu, while speaking at the Chief of Defense Intelligence Annual Conference 2023, said the country was battling budgetary constraints, having inherited a bankrupt country from the previous administration with about 46 trillion naira in debt to clear. He said, "Fine, it is important for you to know that we have inherited a very difficult situation. Literally a bankrupt country. No money to a point where we can say that all the money we are getting now, we are paying back what was taken. It is serious. But this administration is doing its best to meet our requirements, particularly the armed forces, and I believe that you leaders will be able to testify to that." Reacting, Onwubiko in a statement on Tuesday accused Buhari administration of human rights violations, corruption, and economic mismanagement. A leader of Kautal Ore Lesdi, a Fulani Progressive and Unity group, Malal Usman, has promised to bring to an end all the activities of kidnapping, banditry, and cattle rustling being carried out by Fulani young men across the country. According to Usman, he has the will and the wherewithal to end all criminal activities perpetrated by some Fulanis if the federal government will support him for this just cause. He said, as a Fulani man, he knows all the secrets of Fulani's kidnappers and bandits. Their antics and tactics they use are in his fingertips, so dislodge them without the use of the military or police force. Usman restated his assurance, fishing out the bad eggs among the Fulanis, using his wealth of experience as a Fulani leader, headsman, and know how the kidnappers' modus operandi are. He profiled provisions of schools and improving their socio-economic lifestyle by making them relevant in all aspects of life as some of the solutions of ending kidnappings in the country. Usman said Fulani people are law-abiding citizens by nature. If government can have a constant link or be licensed with the community head leaders to know when we'll see any bad eggs among them. According to him, one of the ways to tackle the menace of kidnapping and banditry is government to forcefully enroll their children in schools. Usman revealed that the illiteracy is one of the most major of these kidnapping activities by Fulanis. Research conducted by many has shown that most of the time the Fulanis are instruments of use. Some people are not Fulanis, equipped them with weapons to attack their victims. He said the government to control the influx of Fulanis who are not Nigerians, a proper registration and data capture through the national identification agencies like NIMSI, INEC, NPC, others should record all those Fulanis in their areas of settlements. Moving on to the next story. A Lagos State High Court at Afabalewa Square has ordered the release of police officer Gabriel Enejo, who spent a decade in detention over the alleged involvement in the death of one Aziz Omotosho in Oshodi. Enejo's release was due to lack of diligent prosecution. Justice Ibironke Harrison responded to the defendant's lawyer Nuruddin Yusuf, stated that the prosecutor failed to establish proof of murder. Enejo attacked to Ikeja police station was arrested in 2013 for Omotosho's alleged murder during the district court response in Oshodi. Enejo explained in court that he was attacked by a mob and stabbed while attempting to disarm a hoodlum. He discovered Omotosho's death upon returning to the station. Enejo spent 237 days in police detention before remand proceedings in 2014, leading to his denial of bail and placement in Ikoyi Custodial Center. Relief came when human rights lawyer Nuruddin Yusuf filed an application for Energy's fundamental human rights enforcement on December 31st, 2021. Charges were filed in 2022 and Energy was arraigned in 2023. Despite the court's accelerated hearing order, the prosecution failed to present witness. Citing constitutional and legal provisions, Nuruddin ordered the court to strike out the matter for lack of diligent prosecution. Justice Harrison, saying the absence of witnesses struck out the charge, leading to Energy's discharge. Moving on to the next story. The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Bankrupt Apapa, Lagos has uncovered two coastal communities in Lagos State where oil ships used as loading bay of stolen premium petroleum product. Consequently, 90 drums filled with 250 liters of petroleum product were recovered in a fiber boat in one of the communities located in the Ijegun area of the state. Another tanker loaded with 180 liters of AGO and some 25 liters jerrycans was recovered in Folu community in Ibeju-Lekki area of the state. The commander NNS Bankrupt, Commodore Kolawole Oguntuga, who made the disclosure yesterday at the NNS jetty, told journalists that the recoveries were made barely 5 days after the Nigerian Navy launched Operation Waterguard, aimed at making the waterways unconducive for oil thieves and other maritime illegalities. The vessels assembled to carry out this operation are enormous. In addition, we have quick response teams stationed along the coast from Badagry down to Lekki. Moving on to the foreign story. The Israeli soldiers have taken over Hamas parliament. The troops from the IDF's Golani Brigade posed for a photo inside Gaza's parliament building in Gaza City after capturing the site on November 13, 2023, statement reads in part. As the troops were able to get into the parliament building, none of the Palestinians were left unarmed. Moving on to sports story. Nigeria Super Eagles will on Thursday evening take on Lesotho in a 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier. The World Cup qualifier will take place at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. Josep Peseiro, the head coach of the Super Eagles, has already released his 23-man squad to tackle Lesotho. Nigeria Super Eagles will hold Thursday evening with the Lesotho match. Josep Peseiro, the head coach, has already brought out his list. Peseiro's squad boasts of the likes of Leicester City, Kelechi Iheanacho, Atlanta's Ademola Lookman, Fulham's Alex Iwobi, Brentford Frank Onyeka, Nottingham Forest Stars, Taiwo Awoniyi and Olaoluwa Aina, among others. Unfortunately, Peseiro will be without the likes of key players such as Napoli's Victor Osimhen, AC Milan Samuel Chukwueze, and Leicester City Wilfred Inidi against Lesotho. Nigeria and Lesotho have played 3 games since 2007, and the 2013 AFCON champions have all won the 3 games. The West African giant will be expected to do the same when they host Leslie North Sea side. Nigeria are in Group C of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier. Similarly, on sport, Kenneth Omeruo has admitted that Super Eagles cannot afford to miss out on a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The 3-time African champions failed to qualify for the 2022 edition of the Global Fiesta hosted by Qatar. The 2026 World Cup will be hosted by 3 countries, USA, Mexico, and Canada. The Super Eagles will begin their quest for a place at the 2026 Mondial with an home game against the Lukena of Lesotho at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo, on Thursday. Kazan passer of Turkey defender Omeruo, who was part of Nigeria's squad to the 2014 and 2018 World Cups, insisted they want to make it to the party this time around. We are looking forward to it. It's an important one for us. We missed out at the last World Cup, so this is a serious matter for us, the former Chelsea player told the Super Eagles media officer. We are here to do what we have to do to get a ticket for the next World Cup. Josep Peseiro's side will face the Warriors of Zimbabwe this week as well. The encounter is billed for the Uyo Stadium, Bature, on Sunday. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's World News from Baba Bagide Imo Television. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu's government calls out Buhari, reveals effect of money looted. Unacceptable ego tripping. Tinubu's government draws battle line with NLC and TUC. Shettima, we have difficulties in Nigeria. Group calls for Buhari's arrest, prosecution by ICC after NSA revelation concerning corruption during Buhari's reign as president. On sport, we brought to you Super Eagles ready for 2026 World Cup qualifier showdown against Lesotho at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo, this Thursday. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Good evening.